Whew, finally, a good cafe with British architecture. Feel like home.
माफ कर दो सर, गलती हो गई।
तुम साला गरीब लोग एक काम ठीक से नहीं कर पाता, इंग्लिश भी नहीं आता, तुम हमेशा हमारे जूती के नीचे रहेगा।
What Rangrej? Too much English you are showing, bro. Frankly speaking, 10% of India speaks English. Your population is also not that much. I said you once and I'm said you twice, don't disrespect me or I'll pop you, rah. You stole our Kohinoor and our gold and showing me attitude, calling me garib. You bloody thief.
Mumbai, Bengaluru and Chennai all have one thing in common. Their names were changed from the old colonial names. Bombay became Mumbai, Bangalore became Bengaluru, Madras became Chennai, and these were not the only cities, there were many more of them across India. And this change in names of city was part of a bigger trend of India going back to its roots and rejecting colonial and Western influence. The question is, despite this, why is India the second largest English-speaking nation, and why is English one of its official languages and a language of opportunity here? So, East India Act 1813 is 200 years after the East India Company came to India. In 1813, the Britishers passed the East India Company Act, and this act did two things. Firstly, the act gave Christian missionaries permission to preach Christianity and propagate English in British India territory. The British also started to invest 1 lakh Indian rupees annually, that's a lot of money for 1813, for scientific knowledge and literacy. This funding went into publishing books in Sanskrit and Arabic and into universities like Hindu College and Madrasa in Calcutta. Now let's come to the English Education Act 1835. A few years later, many British officials didn't see the point in investing in Sanskrit and Arabic, and one of these officials was Thomas Macaulay. This guy suggested that the funding should go into educating Indians in English. He basically wanted to create a class of persons, Indian in blood and color, but English in taste. And the Governor General of India that time agreed with this and introduced the English Education Act. The funds to publish Sanskrit and Arabic texts were stopped and all the investments were diverted to English education. The next step came in 1854. Now most of us have gone to an English medium school where the primary medium of teaching was English. English medium schools are spread throughout the country today, and the birth of these English medium schools was because of this guy, Sir Charles Woods. He suggested to the governor that an education department should be set up in every province, and the medium of instruction at higher levels would be English. Universities in the model of the London University should be established in big cities such as Bombay, Calcutta and Madras, and these universities were established then. But wait, I have a question here. Why were the British targeting education? You see, today, Spanish is the dominant language in most South American countries except Brazil because of the imposition of the Spanish language by the Spanish Empire. The Spanish Empire basically dictated that schools teach in Spanish. So even Woods and Macaulay both believed the same strategy could work in India, and propagating English would give the East India Company with civil servants who could be trusted and ultimately who could be controlled. But this strategy backfired in India. So 50 years after the English Education Act, in 1885, the Indian National Congress or INC was formed to establish civil rights, economic reform favorable to India, and the INC later went on to launch the Quit India movement. The irony is, many of the founding members of the Indian National Congress went to universities where the primary medium was English. Some of them went to universities established by the British. Many Indians even trained under the British legal system and used the courts to challenge oppressive British laws. Freedom fighters like Gandhiji, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and B.R. Ambedkar even went to England to pursue their studies, but for them, learning English became a tool to fight British oppression. Now the question is, what should India's official language be? After independence, the topic of India's official language was fiercely debated. According to the Article 343 of the Indian Constitution, the official language of Union shall be Hindi in Devanagari script, and the form of numerals shall be the international form of Indian numerals. It also suggested that English would be phased out in favor of Hindi over a 15-year period. According to the Hindu, in 1959, Jawaharlal Nehru had assured that English would remain in official use, but the Official Languages Act 1963 did not support this assurance, and this worried some states. At that time, Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri's government wanted to make Hindi the official language of India. In January 1965, protests broke out in Tamil Nadu opposing Hindi as the only official language of India. The protests escalated and took a violent turn. After 100 years of English being forced upon Indians, the same Indians were fighting for English to stay as one of the official languages. Soon an amendment was made in 1967 to the Official Languages Act of 1963, which stated that the English language will continue to be used in addition to Hindi. And so English stayed on as one of the official languages of India. Now, let's come to the state of English today. India has 122 major languages and 1,599 other languages. Every state has its own language and people of those states want to speak in that language, which makes complete sense. But if you are after employability and opportunity, English is the language of opportunity. We don't say this, the statistics do. India's English fluent workforce has helped India to tap into the global outsourcing market. According to the Indus Valley report, the IT sector accounted for 35 to 40% of India's total exports and 30% of India's white-collar jobs for financial year 2022. Even engineering colleges have realized this. That's why BITSAT BITS Pilani's entrance exam has an English proficiency segment. Look at this tweet by Arvind Kejriwal. He says, government school students mostly come from economically poor backgrounds. When I meet them, this was their biggest demand. Sir, हमें English बोलना सिखवा दीजिए. See, I am not saying you should condemn your local language or one language trumps other. Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, Punjabi, Telugu, etc. are all great and you don't need to abandon these. But if learning how to speak few words in English can literally triple the number of jobs you as an individual can get, I want you all to exploit this opportunity. You know, when I was younger, I wasn't very good at English, but my father used to keep pushing me, saying, no, you have to learn how to speak in English. And I used to get very mad at him, saying, Arey, there are so many other languages in India. I learned those. But he always said, okay, you learn that as well, but you must also be proficient in English. So I had no choice, but now after all these years, I am damn grateful to him for pushing me. It literally opened up so many avenues for me with respect to my career. And I'd like to do the same for all of you here. See, a lot of you condemn me for making these videos in English, but if it helps even 10 of you watching these videos become more fluent, which in turn helps you bag a job at some point in future, I am all for it. Listening to news in English, watching videos, reading and practicing it with your peers is indeed the best way to pick up English, so I shall keep trying. Anyway, that is all for today's video. The language debate keeps on going, but I'd like to repeat myself and tell you again that we do not support one language over other. We just support opportunity and whatever drives it. My name is Achina Maya, and for more such content, subscribe to AevyTV.